Good day, my name is Amar Horcha and welcome to another episode of AmRed. In this episode we will learn how to 3D model in SolidWorks using the Revolve tool. In the last episode we learned how to use the Extrude tool. If you haven't seen the last episode, please go ahead and watch it by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. Today we'll be using the Revolve tool to generate a cylinder and a sphere, so please go ahead and click on the part selection and then click on OK to get started. When it comes to revolving in SolidWorks, you really need to think about the cross section that you're revolving. When it comes to the cylinder, we'll need to revolve a rectangle cross section, and when it comes to the sphere, we'll be revolving a semicircle cross section. So to get started with drawing our cross sections, we need to choose our desired plane. I'll be drawing on the top plane today, so click on top plane and then click on normal 2 to get a normal 2 view, and then click on top plane again and click on sketch to begin sketching. So we'll be starting with our cylinder cross section today, so we'll need to sketch our rectangle. So go ahead and click on the rectangle tool in the top left hand corner and then specify your center point. Today we'll be using the origin as our center point, and then drag out to your desired dimensions. I'll be using a rectangle of 200 by 20, so let's get as close as we can to 200 by 20. You don't need to be completely accurate, because remember you can use the smart dimensioning tool to completely specify your dimensions. So let's go ahead and place that there. Now we'll be getting the smart dimensioning tool by holding the right click on our mouse and dragging up. That brings up our smart dimensioning tool, and now we'll be dimensioning the long edge. So click on the long edge, drag up, place your dimension. We want this to be 200, so type 200 and then hit enter. And now we want our short now we want to dimension the short edge, so click on the short edge, drag the dimension out, then place the dimension, and then we want this to be, let's make this 30, so type 30 and then hit enter. So this is the cross section for our cylinder. So if you picture this rotating 360 degrees, you can see this cylinder that we're going to be generating. You could also use Revolve to rotate cross sections at different angles, but we'll be just using it to rotate 360 degrees. So go ahead and click on features in the top left hand corner of your screen, the features tab, and then click on Revolved boss base to use the Revolved tool. Now we'll be clicking on the cross section, so go ahead and click on one of the edges, and then as you can see we've generated the cylinder. So now this cylinder, as our cross section is 200 by 30, so our cylinder will have a diameter of 60 millimeters and a length of 200 millimeters. So you can specify your angle by typing your angle in the left hand side of the screen where it says direction 1 angle right here. So we can change this to whatever angle we want, and as you can see, let me try and get a good view for you. One sec. So as you can see, as the angle goes down, the cylinder becomes less and less complete. Let's go ahead and leave that at 360 for today. Let's make it simple. Type 360, hit enter, and then click on the tick to apply the changes. So as you can see, we've generated a cylinder. Relatively easy to model a cylinder in SolidWorks. It's actually relatively easy to use the Extrude and the Revolve tool to model whatever you want. Just follow the steps that I have provided. So let's go ahead and model the sphere. So when it comes to the sphere, as I mentioned, you need to rotate a semicircle. So let's go ahead and click on the top plane again, and then click on sketch. Let's drag out the top plane. You don't really need to draw on this top plane highlighted area, but it's better just to draw on it so that we know that we're drawing on the top plane. Let's go ahead and choose the circle tool in the top left hand corner of the screen. Now we want to specify the center point of the circle. Let's specify the center point as the midpoint of our cylinder. Okay, so that we can have the objects relatively in line with each other. We can also make this in line with the cylinder as well, so we'll give it a radius of 30. Okay, so now I've drawn this circle. I want to go ahead and trim this to form a semicircle, so I'll need to go ahead and pull out my line tool. So type L on your keyboard, that pulls out our line tool, and then draw a line from the top to the bottom of the circle. Now we can go ahead, press escape to get rid of that. we can go ahead and we'll need to get trim entities, the trim entities tool at the top of your screen, and now we can trim the circle to form a semicircle by holding the left click of our mouse and dragging the cursor over half the circle. There we go, we formed a semicircle. Now we can go ahead and revolve this to form a sphere. So go ahead and click on the Features tab and then click on the Revolved tool. Now we can specify this semicircle as our revolved cross section. Axis of rotation we'll specify as the line in the middle. As you can see, we've formed a sphere. So to apply this, we can go ahead and click on the tick in the top left hand corner. Now you can see we've got a sphere and a cylinder. Let's go ahead and choose the view we want to have for the thumbnail. Nope. As you can see, it's relatively easy to 3D model with the Revolve tool. Once you've drawn your cross section, you simply just have to specify the angle. I hope you've enjoyed this informative lesson. If you have, please go ahead and like the video and share with other engineers that you think might benefit. In the next episode, we'll be learning how to use the extruded cut tool. I hope you stay tuned for that. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Bye.